I'm here with John and Janae Dryden, who have agreed to help us understand the Community Insights team and what you guys have been tasked with. So, John, can you give us just a little insight, a quick summary of what the leadership has tasked the Community Insights team to do?
Yeah, so as the church leadership and board is going through the reassessment process, they're looking for more data to use as they're kind of shaping where we're going to focus our efforts and resources in our community. And so we kind of have three main tasks that we as this group are trying to fulfill. And the first one is we're trying to create an inventory, or this survey that we're doing right now, to collect information from the body about their existing connections in the community, skills, interests they have, about ways that we know many people are serving, some directly through GCC ministries, but also wide range beyond that as well. A second main task we're doing is collecting demographic information. Glenwood sits within a community, and that community has specific needs, specific resources, and so as we look at our body, and then we're looking at what needs in the community the body could best meet there. So collecting just your typical demographic stuff, but then we know God has a heart for the vulnerable population. So beyond just typical population demographics, looking at where are there vulnerable populations in Clark County that we could demonstrate God's heart for in a unique way as well. And then lastly, we know there's lots of other churches in Clark County. So we're also trying to come up with a basic summary of other bodies that are working on similar issues that might be of concern that we could either partner with or learn from what they're doing. So those are kind of the three things we're working on at the moment.
It's been said, I've heard this saying, that data tells a story, not something that you would think about data. What story are we looking for with the data that we're collecting?
Maybe you heard that from Jesus, because when people would ask Jesus a question, especially certain people who loved data, loved laws and rules, and could quote the whole Torah back and forth, Jesus would answer with a story to connect to people's hearts. And I think that's what we are hoping this information can do, is tell a story about kind of the heartbeat of our community, outside of our walls, inside of our walls. And answer that like age-old question, how do we love our neighbor? Who is our neighbor? Jesus answered that question with a story that we call the Good Samaritan. And so we're asking that question as a body of believers. Who is our neighbor here in Clark County and Vancouver, and how can we love them?
If I'm not currently involved in something in the community, I'm like, I still should fill out the survey. And what kinds of things would you be looking for from me if I'm not involved, but maybe I'm thinking about being involved?
So I would say to someone like that, maybe you're not currently involved, but maybe you have, I would ask that you prayerfully look at those vulnerable populations or community connections and think about like, what kind of makes your heart sing about those? What makes you cry? What makes you angry? You know, like what stirs you when you read about or hear about these situations in our community and in our world? And then maybe you want to learn how to get involved more. And so like checking an interest and saying, hey, I don't really know what to do, but I'd love to come alongside. I'd love to pray better. I'd love to do God's work in this area. You know, we're one body with many parts, and not all of us are going to do all the things, but I'm pretty confident that within our community, there are many, many people coming alongside and who have passions and feelings about these areas of need in Clark County. I think we'd really like to connect people too. So if we see from this survey that there's people who have maybe experienced loss and grief or disease or illness personally, or someone in their immediate family, and then there's other people who are going through that and need some kind of guidance for, what did someone else go through? How were they supported? You know, we can start making connections with people who either have experienced or want to support those who've experienced similar things.
Yeah, so what we're trying to do in general, it sounds like, is just connect a lot of dots for people, connect people to people, needs to resources, and this is a way to do that.
Yeah.
So what's something that excites you about what you might discover in this whole process?
Yeah, I'm just really excited to learn some of the stories of what's going on at Glenwood. Like, it just feels like Glenwood has been known for a long time of being theologically and biblically grounded and rooted. We do a good job equipping our people in the Word, and we do a good job discipling and serving and loving our church community well. And I'm excited to find out what's going on Monday through Sunday outside of the church walls, what people are doing to bring the gospel, to live out the gospel, and meet the needs outside of our church walls.
What's the one next step for people? What are we asking of people?
Please complete the survey. And like Janae said, I encourage you to do that prayerfully. Open it, read it, think through the questions, and just do your best. Ask God to give you wisdom and how to respond, what He brings to your heart and mind as you're completing that. Think through, it is a lot about all existing connections that we're trying to highlight out there where people may know of needs that are out there. So we're both looking for interests of the body, existing skills of the body, but even just as we try to look at where can Glenwood impact our community, people know needs that may not be at the forefront of others' minds. So.
Great. Well, thank you guys for helping to clear up what maybe was some of the confusion around this Community Insight Survey and team. We have available paper copies that you can grab in the foyer, or you can follow the link that's in this email to fill it out digitally. Thank you guys.